What makes a historical source reliable for academic papers? Imagine trying to piece together a story from the past. Would you trust a story told by someone who was there, or someone who just heard about it years later? That's what source analysis is all about. When working on history or social studies projects, knowing how to pick trustworthy sources makes your work stronger. First, think about where the source comes from. If it's written by someone who saw the event happen or was involved, it's usually more reliable. For example, a letter from a soldier during a war gives a direct view of what they experienced. On the other hand, a history book written decades later might include some interpretation, so it needs to be checked carefully. Next, consider when the source was created. A diary entry written on the day of the event is often more accurate than a report written many years afterward. Memories can fade or change over time, so sources close to the event are usually more trustworthy. It's also important to look at why the source was made. Was it meant to inform, record facts, or maybe persuade people? If a source was created to sell a product or promote a certain idea, it might be biased. Knowing the creator's background and purpose helps you decide how much trust to put in the information. The type of source matters too. Primary sources like letters, photographs, or official documents are direct evidence of what happened. Secondary sources, like articles or books that analyze primary sources, can be reliable if written by reputable historians who use good evidence. But primary sources often give the clearest picture of the event itself. Finally, cross-checking is key. If different sources agree on the same facts, it's a good sign they're reliable. When you find multiple independent sources saying the same thing, you can be more confident in the information. For students working on history projects, these steps are helpful. Always look for sources created by people involved or experts. Choose sources written close to the event. Think about why the source was made and who it was for. Use a mix of primary and trusted secondary sources. And compare what different sources say to see if they match. Spending time on this part of your research makes your paper stronger. It helps you avoid using false or biased information. Good source analysis also saves you time in the long run because you won't have to fix mistakes later. Remember, reliable sources are the foundation of good history work, and taking the time to evaluate them carefully is always worth it.